So here's a single scan, 300 micron bit. Here's the properties. We're going to do 3 passes. What did we drop it down to 20 last time? So like
Yes.
20 was the scan
Yeah.
speed. 250 was the depth. Oops. 250 is the depth. Drill speed.
I think you increased to
faster, right?
30, yes.
30%. Use the Z. And we'll just set this as a default so we don't have to reset it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we do the surface profile.
Where did you find that?
Not all patterns, only a selected pattern. Profile.
Oh yeah.
And the one that we did earlier, it's way off the screen. I should have dragged it with me, so then it keeps the same properties. So it's like over here.
Okay.
Right. So it's in the electronic memory. It's off that microscope screen. So I just redid another one. So that's the first point. Second point. Okay, and then we go back to the scope and see if there's some little contact points. Yeah, look, see like right there? That looks like, yep. Can't really see that one, but if that one's on, then I think it's a good one.
What about that?
I don't know what that is. That looks a little odd, doesn't it? Was that there before?
I don't
I
know.
don't remember if it was. I guess we'll find out in a second.
Yeah.
So let's run the scan. And again, you got to make sure you see I've got that other one's way over here. So if I select all patterns, it's going to go do that one first. So I got to make sure I select only that one. 200, enable the drill, run.
And run.
And watch closely to make sure it does what you want it to do. So that's a good sound. It's like we got that first push, and then it levels off. Now it's just the X and Y as it translates across the surface.
Yeah, we can see we go. No, we don't go deeper.
Yeah, the only time this changes is if there, because we use the Z profile.
Yeah.
If there's difference between those 2 points, then you'll see this very slowly changing. Yep, see, so the next one's a little bit higher. Because it's stepping up slightly. That's why I like to use the Z profile, because I think the machine knows a little better
Yeah, it's
about
changed
where
already.
it is. Yeah.
Look.
Yep, 41.
Yeah.
Because you can choose to just have the machine treat this as a flat surface. You define one point, and then the machine remembers that that's the surface. But if you get a decent variation, then you might drive the drill deeper than you want to go, and it may bind up. Nice little pile of powder there. Yeah, unfortunately that's really overexposed. You can actually turn down, if you turn down the reflected light here, so the reflected light, if you turn that down, this should be better exposed. So it's done the first scan, that should pick up, go back to the beginning, drop in the same spot, and we'll be able to tell if it's shifted, because it'll make noise at first, because it'll hit the rim. So you hear that? It barely touched the edge, so that's good. Most of the drop was in the trough.
Now we can see a lot of material.
Can you zoom on that? Probably. Tiny pile of powder.
Too much coffee, my hands are shaking. me at this point, I would be tempted to remove the material. Oh, okay. Actually,
It
that's
just keeps stacking up.
Hmm.
The nice thing is, I find that when it's stacked up like that, the cutting is under the powder, and so it tends to keep things from flying off. Like odoliths it's aragonite, so it tends to be a little more poppy. So the first path tends to splatter around. The second path tends to be less scatter because it's under the powder. And fortunately, like I said, it's sort of a colloidal type powder. It tends to stay together.
Well, maybe I do 3 passes for my stuff. I remove the first layer, which might be the most contaminated, and I recover the powder from the second and third pass.
Yep.
Yeah, might work.
Yeah, that's a good angle. And the thing you have to think about, depending on the bit that you're using, like this one, as you go down, we're at 750 deep, the shank starts to widen up a little bit. So it's going to start hitting the upper part of the trough that you're cutting. So you can't go real deep with these. Probably a couple of millimeters. You could probably go another 2 or 3 passes. But
No,
it
it's
starts
already
to-
too
the,
deep.
The friction's going to start affecting the sides. There we go. Now, look at it closely. Nothing sticking to it. And now we go back to the microscope view. Close that. And there's a little pile of powder. It looks pretty good. It looks like maybe there's a very minor shift.
Yeah, looks like it.
I'm just going to move this around a little bit because I want to see what's out.
That's a lot of material.
It really is. Yeah, see, it did move a little bit. I wonder why it's moving.